Alrighty, folks, so we are still in the midst of Flank Cave 2.0, well, more like 20.0, probably more. Basically, fixing this room, getting all the lines and scales done properly. So as of right now, there is pretty much a 0 chance that I'm going to get T-Rex bust. I would have gotten it already, so it was never shipped. I'm waiting for my refund. We've got the Predator wall pretty much situated, so check it out. Here's the AVP setup, how that looks. I tried the alien heads down low, but I'm not really digging that. If anything, I'd rather get his head right there and put the egg down. So I may consider that. We also could do that little guy right there. Nevertheless, we got this all set up with the poster. Actually works pretty good. So the poster I can actually see pretty good. So the quarter scale will go here, life-size bust here. This is still for sale as of the recording of this video. It has not been bought. So a few things we need to do to make this work. Now, I don't necessarily want to add a ton more pieces to this collection room in here. We're going to be getting rid of this. So actually, the buyer that was going to buy Anubis bust actually bought it elsewhere. So Anubis bust and Cyclops bust are both for sale. Alita bust in 1/4. We're going to try it here, but I may sell it. Maybe. The one thing I will never sell is this. That is lifers for me. Although I would potentially consider selling this once we get the J&D. That would be the one exception. And Jon Snow and Night King, if someone's willing to buy them, I will sell them. But I do plan to just build a garage shelf right here and do Jon King and Night Snow underneath, Khaleesi bust in 1/4 top shelf, and have a glass shelf or a smaller shelf like that on the back with Alita bust in 1/4 on top. Technically, I could throw Cyclops and Anubis down low. However, with me, I'm going to be shipping out Mummy today. With me not having Mummy and Medusa, I would just say, I'll just sell them. I don't necessarily want them without my Mummy and Medusa. I love them with Mummy and Medusa, but as standalones, they're not going to do it for me. Now, I do like them, and they are great pieces without a doubt. Very cool. But hit me up if any of you guys are interested. They are really good busts, for sure. Over here in the horse setup. So we got this. Now, I can keep this here, or, hear me out, we could just put Nun bust right there and Annabelle and move the Chucky display right here, but have it spaced out 1, 2, 3 instead of like this. You'd be able to see them better. And then I could actually even bring back out the good guy box and have it. I do that Chucky left, her middle, good guy box behind her, and in between that Chucky. And basically this would be the Chucky display. And then in the middle would be the 1/3 extras. So we got my pumpkin head. We would get Candyman and eventually a Pinhead. Now I was thinking potentially, let me show you some potential options. I got some Photoshops I wanted to show you guys. So this is kind of how this wall will look once it's done. So this will arrive in a few days. And then this is next month. So yeah, but the idea, I wanted it to match symmetrically. So that's why I did this bust here instead of the bust there. Because normally I'd probably put the bust here and have the 1/3 in between, but that won't work if these two busts are next to each other. So we got to do double busts. But that is that. And then this is going to be the main display here. Now, technically I can fit one extra statue. Technically, I was wanting to get the girls in the middle and then have the creatures surrounding them. Or more or less, do these 3. So technically that means we'd put Reaper bust there, Reaper 1/3 there, Blade, Selene 1/3. This needs to be a 48-inch wide garage shelf. It cannot be that 36-inch because 36 will not fit these two. They need a 48-inch. So we need to basically switch these 2 shelves to make it fit perfectly. And then in essence, you would do Pale Man, Fawn bust, Fawn 1/3. Fawn 1/3, of course, would be in this. And technically, we would have space for 1 extra piece. Now, I could actually just put Pumpkinhead there because I do think they pair great. I could technically keep Cyclops bust and put him in the display since he's a cool looking creature. Although I'm trying to, stick to just pure movie pieces and not have, any more. Well, I mean, these aren't movie, but they're just so hot and sexy. I can't sell them. But we can fit a piece next to it. Now, I could technically, like I said, put Pumpkinhead. And then over here, we just do Candyman, eventual Pinhead. And you could also even throw another one. The other alternative, man, if I could do like a 25-inch wide shelf, then you could just put simply Pale-Man by himself and these two on a garage shelf. I mean, you could also just do those two in a garage shelf and do Pale-Man here, and then, he kind of fills that shelf. Kind of. Although that is kind of a tough one. I mean, you could technically do Pillman by himself, but he is a deeper statue, and you do want him in a 24-inch deep garage shelf. Like he needs that depth. But there might be a way to do it. Let me think. Maybe. But ideally, this is kind of all the statues I want in this display. I don't really want another statue in this display. This is what I want. I just want to add Celine from the Underworld line. She's the only one I need. I don't need Marcus or William. I mean, William's just a white werewolf. I prefer this, and I prefer my Marcus over PCS's. I love my Blade. We need Celine. She's not a space hog. She'll easily fit next to Blade. I love the girls. I want all three girls next to each other. And then this. So there is a way to go about this. The way to do that would, in essence, move this down and have one of those on the edge. That would be the best way to do it. And then basically where Jon Snow is would be just this 36-inch shelf with just Pillman. And that's it. Like he would fill up the shelf mostly. Like there would definitely be like 4 inches on each side. But I mean, I could always throw a prop or whatever. I also have the Pan's Labyrinth poster over there, which looks great. But ideally, I don't want to add another piece. Even though I know space is always a premium, I feel like this look is just perfect. The only other thing I technically could add would be the bust of Abe Sapien, but that is a tough one just because I would want it up there, and I can't fit it there. So I think it's plus the money. I don't want to spend another $2,500. I want to come out positive with everything I'm doing. So the only pieces I'm adding is this, and this. And then, of course, we added the quarter scale. And we were going to add the bust anyways, the Deep Tail Predator bust. We added the quarter scale Jungle Hunter. But, once I sell that closed mouth bust, then I'm still positive $2,000. And I got the quarter scale version, which is a better pose, different pose than Cinema Cat, scales better. Then we just add the Hellboy line, which is almost paid for by selling Mummy and Medusa. Once you sell Anubis and Cyclops, it's paid for. And then we just spread everything out. Now, if we can sell Night King and Jon Snow, then we will definitely be positive. Obviously, if I sell Alita as well, I mean, the most important thing for me is keeping Khaleesi buses. She is, my favorite. So, yeah, but we will see what happens. I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to regret, selling Prime 1 Predator. Now here's the thing, folks. I could always buy it back. It's not a difficult statue to get. Like, you can find it. If I was to post want to buy, I could find it in a heartbeat. There's so many of those made. Now, the harder ones that will be hard to find will be Berserker, since it is a lower ES. However, that thing's still not sold out. It's been up for PO forever. So I still think it'll be easy to get. Wolf 1/3, if it eventually comes out, I mean, there's still no confirmation, but if it does and it blows my freaking mind, I could always go back and buy the other two, or I could always just buy Wolf as my standalone Prime 1 Predator. But I am very happy with my wolf display over there. I think it looks great. We could always just add just wolf if I ever decide I want it. Or, it's going to be a lot easier for me to avoid the temptation of this rabbit hole by not going down this line. That's why I sold the 1/3. It's too similar of a pose to Cinema Cat, which scales better. And frankly, I like the pose better. And that one's only limited to 500, where Prime 1 is several thousand. So it's much more limited. But yeah, I think this is going to be overall the best thing for the man cave. We're going to solidify the final pieces in this room. Everything on pretty much all the walls is going to be either a large creature 1/4 or a 1/3. There won't be a huge noticeable difference. And then the final 1/4 are going to be here. Now, eventually, I may try and move Khaleesi bust and quarter scale into my Lord of the Rings room if I ever find a way to do that. I think I could part ways eventually with Alita, and I could part ways with Jon Snow and Night King. Even though I love them, I could just be happy with Khaleesi bust in 1/4. I'm happy with that. But like I've said before, Khaleesi bust is my favorite piece in this room. No doubt she is my favorite in this entire room. She is better than that, any of my 1/3s. Khaleesi bust is number 1 in this room. She is probably my second favorite life-size, third favorite life-size bust. I put Kratos and Thanos above her. Sauron, I don't know. I still think she's probably better than Sauron, to be brutally honest. She's just so goddamn gorgeous. And those dragons are so cool. She may not be as big, but she, just looking at her versus looking at Sauron, I get more joy out of her. So I'd say she's better. So she's my third favorite life-size bust in the collection. And so, yeah, she can get a premium spot in this collection. I'm going to probably move her later right here. And yeah, I think it might be best if we switcheroo these shelves or move this down, move that down, and put that there. Although, interesting. We'll figure it out. Anyways, folks, I will update you guys. But again, statues that are for sale. We have Anubis bust. We have Cyclops bust. We have Prime 1, 1/3 closed mouth predator bust. So as of right now, that is for sale. And if someone is interested in Night King, Jon Snow, message me. We can work out a deal. Alita bust, I'm not officially posting her up for sale, but if someone's interested, PM me. Maybe I'll work something out. I will not sell her for a loss. Jon Snow and Night King, most likely I'll just keep them and do a garage shelf here. I do like to keep this shelf lower since it's mid-room. But, I don't think it would be too bad having just a garage shelf with the Game of Thrones setup. And then if, obviously, I do that, I could just throw Alita behind. Have an Alita basically on top of that glass shelf right there. Or you do a small garage shelf like this. Anyways, folks, let me know what you guys think of the display and any suggestions. I've thought very thoroughly on this for the last while. I really have been thinking about this. I've been looking at the Photoshops, my current setup, where I want to be, what I want for my collection. I think this is the best route for right now. Of course, man cave is almost always ever changing, but I'm really digging this look. Now, here was the other horror idea. If you got the 3rd scale. Now, I would get the 3rd scale if I could sell my 1/4 for like $1,000, then it would just be a $2,000 upgrade. Ugh, I don't know. That's so much money. I think PCS really overcharged on this. That thing should only be $2K, not $3K. I need to wait for a sale. I'm very confident that will go on sale. Candyman, I can pick that up. I think it'll go good in the display. I do like this look a lot, but I just don't know if I want to spend $2,000 on that red lipstick demon bust. I do like that look, though. I think that looks really good. I don't know. If I can find that red lipstick demon for a good price, I'd pick it up. If I get it for 15